Hi, I'm Daniel Lane Standig, and this is Innovation 19. The Consumer Electronics Show just wrapped, and today we're talking about the top 10 things we learned related to broadcast media. Everything media companies need to know about new technologies relating to audience engagement, content, and revenue from CES. Number 1, the ATSC 3.0 rollout. ATSC stands for the Advanced Television Systems Committee, and if you're not familiar with ATSC 3.0, that's also known as Next Gen TV. It brings some incredible new capabilities to televisions and TV viewers in 2021. ATSC is the digital TV standard that we already know and love today. It's how you get digital TV through your old school rabbit ear TV antenna. But ATSC 3.0 promises to improve the overall TV viewing experience with clearer reception, Dolby Atmos and DTS:X support, streaming capabilities, on-demand video, and 4K HDR video support, not to mention the potential for targeted advertising. To make ATSC 3.0 possible, broadcasters need the support of hardware manufacturers, namely LG, Sony, and Samsung. And there's a lot of motivation to turn this around quickly. ATSC President Madeline Noland said that she anticipates next-gen TV will reach approximately 70% of U.S. households by the end of 2021. And with the TV serving as the focal point for homes as long as we're all self-isolating, it's easy to predict that the trend of buying better TVs is only going to continue to increase. Fun fact, according to USA Today, unit sales of TVs that are 65 inches and larger were up 53% over the first half of 2020. So it doesn't look like anybody's going to complain if you optimize the TV watching or the TV advertising experience. Number 2 is OTT, or over-the-top media services. We're talking Apple TV Plus, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus. There's a lot of pluses. And by the way, we're only going to get more of them because streamers were some of the big winners of this past year. People changed their viewing habits, and undoubtedly across the globe, we had more screen time in 2020 than we've ever had in recorded history. But at the same time, Trade Desk is reporting that 27% of U.S. cable TV subscribers are planning to cut their subscriptions by the end of 2021. So you see this huge increase in television, but 1 in 4 are saying that they're going to cut their cable. Well, that certainly points to a change in how we're accessing content and the types of places we're going to find our favorite content. And it's also changing the way that we measure TV viewing. Nielsen announced on January 12th that they're going to start tracking viewership numbers on theatrical movies on demand. And that would be incredibly useful data because now imagine that advertisers can get a better sense of what audiences are choosing to watch in a time where more and more studios are releasing movies outside of theaters and going straight to our living room TV. Speaking of TVs, our number 3 trend, we have to talk about rollable and transparent screens and displays. Okay, there's all kinds of crazy TV ideas now. LG has a rollable phone and a transparent TV. Samsung has the first ever consumer micro LED TV. The Think Reality A3 smart glasses by Lenovo are really cool. And all of this points to a bigger trend. That is that in the consumer's mind, television is not a big black rectangle hanging on the wall. Television is however they consume video. Now, the feedback that I'm hearing about some of these screens is that they're cool, but unnecessary. For example, consumers aren't exactly clamoring to go buy a transparent TV. But this is where it may be important to think about who the actual buyer of some of these new creative innovations might be. Transparent TVs might not be a must for the average residential home, but they could offer a solution for commercial spaces that want to incorporate screens but not be dominated by them, like restaurants or malls. LG suggested that transparent screens could even be used as partitions between workers and guests. But honestly, that sounds a little like a company scrambling to justify some technology that would work well in malls at a time when we're not going to malls. So we'll see how that goes as the world reopens. My 4th pick is Wi-Fi because screens are irrelevant without the internet. This year at CES, Wi-Fi 6E was announced. Now, in recent years, we've heard about Wi-Fi 6, which would use the 6 gigahertz wireless spectrum. And right now, most wireless systems, and probably any of the systems you use, are on 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz. Using the new band at 6 gigahertz makes wireless networks less congested and therefore faster. 6 gigs is also a higher bandwidth band, so devices can send larger and stronger signals wirelessly. Some people have asked about the difference between Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi E, and they're exactly the same thing. It's just a branding play by the tech industry. But you're going to see the term 6E everywhere in the coming years. It's the biggest innovation in Wi-Fi in about a decade. And virtually everybody in the hardware space is jumping right on the 6E bandwagon. Okay, number 5 goes out to audio. You know I'm a huge music buff and fan, and given that live in-person concerts will be one of the last things to return post-pandemic, I'm very excited that companies are going above and beyond exploring solutions for creating a concert experience at home. Sony has new 360-degree sound speakers that allow for a level of sound immersion that is well beyond what you're used to with surround sound. 360 sound has spatial depth to it due to the recording process, so you can close your eyes and feel what it's like to be at a concert. And the music industry is naturally very interested in this. So when you pair 360 reality audio with video clips, the results are pretty spectacular. Think about what you're going to see in terms of immersive experience now with 360 audio. And you're probably going to see record labels marketing exclusive performances and events in partnership with Sony in the new year. What about the audio experience on your commute? I'm dedicating number 6 to automotive innovations at CES. Okay, I know cars aren't strictly broadcast related, but considering that a significant amount of radio and podcast listeners tune in exclusively on their commutes, I actually think this is very relevant. CES is all about tech innovation in automotive. Here's what we saw. If companies like GM are to be believed, the car of the future will be more like a living room on wheels than it is a car. The GM Halo concept is a self-driving luxury pod. It kind of looks like a bloated Cadillac. Now, it's doubtful that something like this will actually make it onto the market this year, but it does provide some interesting eye candy and food for thought, especially if you want to turn on the radio and there are no buttons in this proposed car of the future. Everything is voice activated or gesture based. There are internal sensors that measure your biometrics to make sure you're at the correct temperature, even scents that waft out towards you to create a pleasant driving experience. Very fancy. Samsung is also hoping for a plug-and-play solution to the cars of the future with its digital cockpit. The cockpit features a 49-inch QLED display and a comprehensive sound system, and of course, all the bells and whistles you would expect for CES. It has biometric intake to adjust for environment and lighting, 5G technology, and an on-the-go selfie studio, complete with in-car cameras. So before you know it, you'll be listening to Innovation 19, taking a selfie as you fly through the sky in a brand new Cadillac. Number 7, I don't know about you, but it seems like we've been waiting forever for 5G. Well, it's finally here. Verizon CEO even kicked off CES with a keynote talking all about 5G and what it can offer, from telemedicine to distance learning. He also went into some detail about other Verizon projects, like virtual reality science lessons for kids, UPS drones delivering medicine. A lot of CES actually focused on the arrival of 5G, culminating in Samsung debuting its new 5G-enabled Galaxy phone on the last day of the show. But not everyone was as thrilled as Verizon's CEO. Here's what I mean. Verizon was very excited to announce the NFL stadiums throughout the country that are going to be equipped with 5G networks, like the stadium in Tampa, Florida, which will host Super Bowl 55. And that means that fans with a 5G device from Verizon can use the Super Stadium in the NFL app to view the game from different angles, as well as various augmented reality or AR features to see player stats. Sounds awesome. One tiny problem. We can't go to stadiums right now. Verizon's CEO gushed about how the quote-unquote AR can transform the way that we enjoy sports or the way we visit museums and interact with the world around us. All the while, we're all thinking that nobody's actually leaving their living rooms right now. But we all know that will change as the world reopens. And as we hear promises of what 5G can do for us, some are really inspiring. We're also hearing promises of more jobs because of 5G. A 5G economic study commissioned by Qualcomm predicts that by 2035, 22.8 million jobs will be created specifically because of 5G, leading to $13.1 trillion in global sales. So I guess we'll just have to be patient until we're back in stadiums and museums. And in the meantime, Wi-Fi 6E is our best friend. Number 8, Xperi and its brands, namely TiVo, HD Radio, DTS, IMAX Enhanced, and InvenSAS, were very present at CES. Xperi was excited to mention how it finished its TiVo merger in 2020, and they said that they think the industry will be extremely interested in the latest advances in HD radio, including AM all digital and over 70 million HD radio equipped cars now because of the new vehicle implementations that have been rolled out. Xperi also touted its DTS Auto Stage, which is a hybrid radio system specifically designed for connected cars, as well as a new partnership with Vizio, describing how the Elevate soundbar now includes DTS-X technology. On to number 9, we have the usual question, what was the biggest party of the year at CES? Well, that's hard to answer this year because everybody was partying from their houses. But it turns out, even virtually, CES knows how to get down. iHeartMedia joined forces with MediaLink to host a floating club for attendees at home, and it ended with an interview between Dua Lipa and Ryan Seacrest and a performance by Billie Eilish. Spatial Web provided the architecture for hundreds of people to meet up virtually in this way. And even though networking is, of course, better in person, you can come at me with comments, introverts. It was a nice break for media executives to be able to chat with one another in a way that felt more spatial and less constricting than Zoom. Of course, we all hope that this time next year, we won't need any virtual spaces for meeting rooms, but it was great that companies are thinking outside the Zoom box since we're going to be virtual for at least a couple more months. I actually like a good virtual experience. Allows me to attend more things without sacrificing time spent with family or working, and necessity often leads to better inventions, right? The quarantine has definitely expedited digitization, and virtual event spaces are more creative than ever before. That leads me to number 10, which I'll dedicate to the safety tech innovations we saw at CES this year. Sooner or later, we're going back to an office. But that means that we're going to have to figure out ways to keep ourselves and our employees safe, even after mass vaccination rollouts. Luckily, tech companies came to the rescue at CES this year. Razer, yes, the company of the infamously rad gamer gear, announced Project Hazel, offering masks with auto-sterilization, active ventilation, and a sterilizing wireless charging case. It'll even project your voice so that people can hear you unmuffled. And it features a transparent design so your mouth and your facial cues aren't lost when you speak. You definitely need to Google the Razer Project Hazel mask because it looks like something out of Cyberpunk 2077, and it became a bit of a meme over this last week. But while it does look like something you might wear at a rave, I can't help but think this is really cool, and I probably will give this a shot as we all go back on the road. As long as we're all talking about safety, I'd be remiss not to touch on the bounty of bots that were unveiled to clean offices and home offices alike. The LG Chloe UVC and UBTEX Adabot are impressive UVC sanitizing bots. I was even more taken with Samsung's offerings. Samsung launched 3 different robots this year, and all were something out of like a whimsical sci-fi film. They include Bot Care, JetBot AI plus Robot Vacuum, and Bot Handy. Bot Handy is my personal favorite. Not only can it tidy up, but get this, it can pour you a glass of wine. I'm not joking. I'll stop myself there. I could talk about robots for hours. There's lots of content here, but we'll do a podcast series coming up soon on the latest robot innovations. Okay, I promised at the end of this episode that we would do a lightning round of cool things seen at CES in terms of new gear and gadgets. So here we go, all right? Number 1, Samsung solar-powered remote control. It makes finding AAA batteries a thing of the past. It doesn't even need sunlight to charge, just any indoor light. Now your remote control can be solar-powered. Next, Ampere's Bluetooth shower speaker. It's powered by the flow of water itself. The flow of water, now powering your audio experience. Talk about a shower hack. Next, in the world of beauty, we have L'Oreal's Smart Lipstick Gadget. Yes, smart lipstick has finally arrived, everybody. Now you can customize any shade you want depending on your outfit or mood on demand, as well as trying new color trends as they're released. Next, a $16,000 bathtub from Kohler, complete with fog, mood lighting, and aromatherapy. Enough said. Another innovation? Moughlin's AI-powered fuzzy robot that learns to love you and looks a little bit like Tribble from Star Trek. You know, the lesser of the Star Stories. Next up, Ninu, the smart fragrance. It connects to your phone, and through an app, you can mix scents together, customizing your own. It's like perfume or cologne on demand. There's an AI assistant programmed to make sure that you don't end up smelling bad also, in case you were worried. And finally, Cold Snap. It's being dubbed the Keurig of ice cream. It allows you to make soft serve and smoothies in your very own kitchen or office kitchen for the future, and we sure do need one for the Futuri office. There you have it. That should catch you up on all things broadcast media and beyond at the CES show in 2021. We also have a blog post on our website with more innovations related to auto and technology in the content, audience, and revenue space for broadcast media. And here with a preview of that is our Futuri Senior Vice President, Zena Burns.
Thanks, Daniel. Much like this episode, we have an article that's brief yet action-packed, covering some of this episode's highlights and what they mean for your brand's relationships with your listeners and viewers. You'll find that at futurimedia.com/news. You'll also find recent pieces like the 7 trends you need to know about to grow your revenue in 2021, and our weekly Top-Line Business Acumen series, which highlights local category business trends for broadcast sales teams. It's designed to help AEs uncover new categories of business or dig deeper with existing clients. Again, you'll find it all at futurimedia.com/news. Everyone at Futuri, from our developers to our analysts to our partner success team, is laser focused on helping our partners grow your content, grow your audience, and grow your revenue. We hope you'll follow us on socials. You'll regularly find content intended to help you get better results from all your hard work. And of course, we hope you will keep listening to Innovation 19. Back to you, Daniel.
Hey, thanks for listening today. Like many other podcasters, we're using Post by Futuri to create, publish, and optimize this episode. Learn more about why some of the world's top brands rely on Post to power their podcasts at futurimedia.com. I'm Daniel Lane Standig, and I look forward to bringing you our next episode of Innovation 19.